Hey, what is up? This is my second attempt. I had a little bit of technical difficulties on the first attempt, and my computer just crashed. So hopefully this attempt goes a little bit better and doesn't crash on me. Um, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas and holiday, Hanukkah. Um, I had a good one. I got a bunch of new Legends gear, as you can see, and I got my season tickets for the Legends. So I am ready to go for the Alliance season coming up in February. So this week mostly going to be talking about all the things that has happened over these last 2 weeks. Uh, a lot has wound up happening, but I don't think there was enough news to cover every single week like it was. So let's start off in the Alliance because the Alliance is right now the biggest, most anticipated league out of all the alternative football leagues besides the NFL right now. Um, the Alliance has had a lot of news. I can't even keep track of all of it. There's so many guys on Instagram covering the training camps that are going on in San Antonio right now, and it's hard to even keep track of the signings and the guys getting released. Like one that forward on my mind is Scott Tolzien getting released from the Iron, which essentially guarantees that the that Luis Perez is going to get the starting job. I mean, without being in San Antonio to watch a training camp and see who's taking reps with the first team, it really seems like Luis Perez is going to be the starter for the Iron. Um, so that I can't keep track of all the transaction stuff that's happening with since it's just in constant flux. I'm a little sad that there's no like preseason games or anything like that, but being only a 10 weeks season, I kind of understand. I'm a little worried that without, well, they're going to have inter squad scrimmages. That's why they decided to have training camp in San Antonio with every single team all in one place, which is a good idea, especially since there's going to be some different rules, get these guys trained and used to the rules of this league. I'm very excited for the uh, first game. I'm very excited for the beginning of the season. Um, they released what the ball is going to look like. If you follow me on Instagram, follow this podcast on Instagram, I posted a poll a little while ago on whether they should go with a more traditional or a more exotic route, like if they should go more like XFL, red and black with these crazy X stripes on the ball. I love that ball. Um, or if they should go more subdued, and they kind of went in between. So they have red and white stripes that go all the way around the ball with a little bit of design to it, as opposed to just like a straight stripe. It's got a little bit of an arrow that points in towards the laces. It looks great. I like that it's somewhere in between really crazy and really normal, like traditional style of ball. Um, I do hope the XFL, when they come back, they bring back that red and black ball. That red and black ball was beautiful. I don't think they will because their logo this time is more red, white, and blue. So I'm not sure what will happen with that. Um, so the they brought their ball out. Other than that, seems like training camps are going well. They've had lots of ads for the Alliance on CBS games and other and they're really pushing this league, and I really hope it gets off to a good start, and I hope that people enjoy how it's played. I hope it doesn't start off like not very good football like the XFL did in 2001. Um, because only diehards, like the people who are listening to this podcast, will be entertained by it. So another thing that, uh, so moving on, that's pretty much all I have on the Alliance right now. Scott Tolzien, the training camps. Um, so the Arena Football League also came out with a brand new logo for the league, and I have to say I'm kind of disappointed with it. I'm not a huge fan of that new logo. It looks like it was taken out of like a clip art of a PS1 game. Like it's at a higher resolution than a PS1 game, but it looks like something that you would have designed for a low rent football game, like Kurt Warner Arena Football type thing. Um, but I understand. I loved the old Arena Football logo. I thought it gave a more major league presence to it. Um, why they went with a new logo, I don't know. Hopefully that that's showing signs of life, because I'm starting to get a little worried because they haven't announced any scheduling. They haven't announced TV contracts. They haven't really announced much for the Arena Football League this year. There's rumors of expansion to Atlantic City and to Columbus. Right now, as far as I've heard, they're only rumors. The league hasn't come out and done any full announcements to it. Hopefully, somewhere around February, March, they'll come out with that announcement. I have a feeling they're probably pushing the season back to not compete with the Alliance of American Football League or the XFL next year, but that might push it closer to NFL training camps, which, if the Arena Football League is more of a stepping stone to Alliance, that makes a lot of sense, because you're not going to go straight from an Arena Football playoffs or end of the season and go straight to the NFL. Like, now it makes it another stepping stone. So it will be like Arena Football, AAF and CFL and XFL, and then NFL, which I think that's kind of the way they are trying to make it. So, if as long as you don't have your schedule and your AFL schedule at the same time as XFL and AFL, do like a 10, 12 game season, I'd be fine with 10. If you did another 10, if you did indoor football for 10 games after the Alliance and XFL finishes their season, that would make a lot of sense, to keep it kind of the same. And also, you might be able to get some people playing both or getting NFL chances. Alliance guys hopefully would be getting chances in the NFL, so they would skip over the Arena League. But if you play in the Arena League and then next year you can start preparing for the next year in the XFL and the Alliance, that's good. So hopefully they do push the season back a little, which that's my hope. The National Arena League also announced a new team. The New York Streets, going to be playing in Brooklyn. New York Streets is a terrible name, but I'm very glad to see that they are expanding out and starting to give more competition to the Arena Football League. I really do see the National Arena League and the IFL doing quite good things in the arena football space. And I think they're sticking more to what arena football originally was when it was first founded, which I think the Arena Football League lost sight of that, what they were and what they need to be. Especially now, They really need to get back to like Ironman football and think of things that are really different. And they need to lower the costs of running these leagues. And I think the National Arena League and the IFL are doing a great job of that. I don't think the Arena Football League is doing. They're trying to make themselves too big. Like they're trying to be, okay, we are the major league of arena football. They need to stop thinking of it that way. I really don't think that they're never going to get back to the NBC days when you would be on the air before the Super Bowl on NBC, before NBC had NFL coverage. They're never going to get back to that point. And it really does seem like they're trying to do that, but I think it's already passed. I would personally love to see a merger between IFL, National Arena League, and AFL. If they just put all these differences together aside and made a plan to be one national full-size arena league, I would be ecstatic about that. I don't think that's going to happen. There's many things that I would change about arena football that I think would both lower costs, make the game more exciting, and expand out to more people. They really need to start embracing streaming and having a good on-demand streaming presence. IFL does it. It's behind a paywall, which is kind of annoying. I don't really like that. National Arena League posts a lot of games on YouTube, which I'm very much looking forward to watching games of that. I'm planning on watching a lot more next year. Now that I have this podcast, I plan on covering the National Arena League and the Arena Football League a lot more when their seasons kick off this year. So I really wish that arena football could get a better foothold. There's rumors for the National Arena League that they're actually bringing back the Orlando Predators. That would be amazing. Bring back the Orlando Predators. They could bring back the Tampa Bay Storm. I, as a Georgia boy, wish they would bring back the Georgia Force. Hey, Infinite Energy Center still doesn't have an arena football team. They have that Legends Football League, that lingerie football league, which is pointless and not worth anyone's time. Honestly, it's not true. I mean, it's football, but it's kind of sleazy. I do not support that league at all. As you might be able to hear my cat meowing in the background like an idiot. Anyway, so I really hope the National Arena League keeps rolling and starts bringing back more teams from the old Arena Football League days, like the Predators, the Storm. Hopefully they bring back. I would like to see them bring back the Force. I don't know if that's going to happen. They are based in Atlanta, so it is possible that the National Arena League could bring back the Force. They have a connection to this city, especially if they're starting to move into bigger markets besides Jacksonville and Columbus, and because they're opening a team in New York. I would also, that's the big thing going on right now. I think with that's pretty much everything on my list. I don't have any comments or questions come in. I really would like to get that started, get some more input. I'm starting to get excited about football season coming back and starting up again, and playing, breaking down games each week. Once the season really gets started, that's when this is really going to start to boom. Right now, it's just talking about maybes and something. It's kind of the weak part of the season. So I'm excited. Follow me on Instagram, Alternate Football Podcast. If you want to leave a comment or question or a review, feel free to send me any thing at alternatefootball.podcast@gmail.com. And have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.